Estate here in Islip and joining me is our county legislator Trish Bergen, and we have Chris and Enrico to talk about saltwater marshes and what this county is doing with some federal funds and some county funds. To start off with three salt marshes, and then to move on to do several more. And I'm going to let Chris and Enrico speak first. Guys.
Thank you, County Executive. Hi, folks. My name is Enrico Nardone. I'm the director of the Seatuck Environmental Association. Seatuck, we're the custodial tenants of the Scully Estate here. My pleasure to welcome you here to what's the Suffolk County Environmental Center, and to welcome the County Executive and Legislator Bergen. Exciting news today, this effort to try to restore and enhance salt marshes. We've heard a lot how they are the first line of defense against sea level rise and help add climate resiliency. They're also the nurseries of the sea, a really important habitat for many wildlife species. They were mistreated for decades and centuries, and it's great to see us finally recognizing the value of these incredibly important habitats and taking efforts to undo some of the harms of the past and bring them back to their full health.
Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Mr. County Executive. It's been a long time. It's a tough adjustment for me. I hope not for you. Chris Clapp. I am the the director of the South Shore Estuary Reserve. We work to coordinate the efforts of the 2 counties and 6 towns and 28 villages along the South Shore of Long Island. As Enrico had just noted, our salt marshes have been degrading for many years through historic practices of dredge and fill and now nutrient pollution. This work here seeks to leverage local and federal funds to restore 140 some odd acres of marsh, salt marsh that will protect us from sea level rise, storm surge, protect threatened and endangered species, and provide valuable recreation areas for birders and others to enjoy. We welcome and applaud this new effort and would love to continue to scale these efforts up across the reserve. Thank you once again for your leadership.
Chris referred to me as supervisor, which is perfect. That was my old job in the town of Brookhaven.
You did it well. It did it well.
Well, and that's our good friend John Turner, who was, and are you still the president or the chairman of Seatuck?
No.
No.
I'm a staff person.
Staff person, okay.
I'm a worker bee.
Worker bee, okay. But I'll tell you, salt marshes need to be restored. Our natural balance need to be restored. Salt marshes are critical. And I refer to myself, and we have another legislator joining us. Legislator, thank you. I refer to the work in Brookhaven Town in Mastic Beach, which suffered from great flooding from Superstorm Sandy. And we made a determined effort to start buying up some of the structures on our salt marsh and restore our salt marsh, because they're like the sponges. So when the next storm comes, they are more capable of absorbing water. They are more capable of doing the things that we need in a storm. But they're also, and Chris pointed out, the importance of salt marshes to our natural world. So we have got federal funds, and we are starting with 3 salt marshes. One right here on the Scully Estate, one at the Islip Reserve, and one at Cupsog in West Hampton, even though Cupsog's in the town of Brookhaven. It's at the end of Dune Road, but we'll say West Hampton. And we will be restoring them. There's over $1 million in federal funding, and they'll be matching county funds to go along. This is the start. We are planning to take a look at a dozen salt marshes that we can restore the natural balance to, that will make a huge difference in our coastal resiliency and prepare us for the next storm. And the next storm is coming, and it worries me. And I think by going back and doing the things that are right and restoring that balance in nature, we will be well off. And we will spend those federal money and those county dollars to do the things that should have been done along the way. Joining me, we have two legislators. We have Legislator Flatren and Legislator Bergen. I'm going to start with Trish, since this is your district.
Thank you so much. Thank you. County Executive Romaine has been a friend to the environment since he was in elected office. It is one of his top priorities, and I'm happy to join him here today to continue to try to save our environment and our marshland. You know, we have to recognize that we live on an island, and a lot of our economic engine is driven by the fact that this is an island. We are heavy on tourism, the boating industry, restaurants, and we need clean water. And restoring these marshlands is so important in achieving that goal. It will continue to add oxygen to the water. It'll help to restore the shellfish that we have in the bay that helps to eat up the nitrogen. It's just such a valuable project that we're doing here. You know, many years ago we saw people decades before us doing silly things and they thought that they were doing the right thing, and then we came to learn from their mistakes that they were cutting into the marshes and they were building too close to marshes, and then sometimes they were filling in the marshes and then building on top of the marshland. And we're happy that over the years of education that we recognize now that that was not the right thing to do. And so today we are here to right the wrongs and to do the right thing for our environment. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Legislator Slaughter, and this right here, Trish and myself share this district. Again, I do congratulate our county execs, Romaine's leadership on working with this, with all the different groups. It's so important. We do a lot of things in the county, but we're stepping up even more, from anywhere from land acquisition and open space to sewering, and maybe even looking into, reusing gray water and everything else. Besides that, is with the county exec pointed out, the marshlands, and also Legislator Bergen, is our ecosystem. We have to keep things balanced. We have to work on all these different topics. And again, is working even with other groups, like even the town of Islip with the shellfish hatchery right down the block, and how that industry has been growing at the oyster seeding in this bay. It's all these different things will bring back the health of this bay. We just recently came out with even a full study that we did about wastewater management on Fire Island, because of all the nitrogen that's being seeped in the bay within days of people, out there visiting our beautiful tourism there. And if we don't take care of these things, talking about, we always use the word green for environment, but also the green of the economics, the tax base, the sales tax, and everything else. That will all be washed away if we do not take care of all these balances. So this is a first step. It might not sound like a thrilling step to some people about marshlands, but it's an important step for a whole ecosystem. So again, I congratulate and thank the administration for putting this together.
Thank you. And I'll just sum up, because I see our planning commissioner here, members of her staff. I see John, our environmentalist. I see Enrico. I see Chris. I have 3.5 more years on my term. I want to do all I can to ensure the future of this county. And doing that is starting with our marshlands. It's starting with our wastewater. I want to make sure that we address the issues that we have been confronted for years and haven't done. I can tell you, in the next 3, 4, 5 years, this county's going to spend at least $500 million on sewering very densely populated areas to make sure we're not on cesspools. And believe it or not, 2024, 70% of this county is on cesspools. And we wonder about our water quality, our groundwater, our surface water. This is the time to move forward. I am prepared to do whatever it takes. I'm going to need all of you to be involved in setting the agenda for the future of this county. Thank you again. God bless. If there's any questions, we'll take them.